Hey there guys. Okay, so this, as you can tell by the description, is a 5.5k flight under 400 feet. Introduction of the rear view camera. There we go. That's the Swift 2 Micro on the back there. I've not quite decided where I'm going to have it on the back yet, so I've got it sort of temporarily fixed. Just so we can have a little play with it and just see what it's going to be like. Now, we are going to be heading towards the top left corner of the field that we're just about to enter and go over, along with the football goalpost thing. And we're going to try and get out to a place called Hatton Locks. Now, Hatton Locks is quite a well-known place in the UK because it has 21 locks very close together. So very hard work for those canal boaters passing through that particular area. But from where I am, it's 6.5 kilometres to Hatton Locks. So this is what we're going to try and do. I've changed the video setting from 200 milliwatts to 600 milliwatts because it's not going to make it there on the 200 milliwatts. Not going over this terrain. This is the first time actually trying to get there, and I realised that the terrain, I needed to negotiate that better to make this particular flight work better. But as we get to that, I'll go through that with you guys. I hope you can notice that the FPV feed is nice and clear now of electrical interference. I'm really impressed with this Matek flight controller, this wing flight controller. It's the F405. I like it. I like it. It seems to do a decent enough job. It's a windy day today. It's not terribly windy. It's not as bad as the other day when I went out the other day. That was quite hard, flying in the winds, but it's nice to get that bit of experience, you know, especially when it comes to landing. So, yeah, I can't wait until the nice calm weather is upon us. Now, on the front of the airplane here, I've got the Runcam Eagle 2, and that's what the FPV imagery is from at the moment. Now it's just switched to the Runcam 2, which is on the wing. So you're looking at the FPV feed in the top right, and you've got the HD recording that you can see in the main picture on the screen. I quite like the Runcam 2 image a little bit better in this one because it's a little bit lighter. I'm not sure if I'd want to fly with the Runcam 2 in FPV mode all the time, unless I can brighten up that image a little bit for the FPV. But still, it's a nice camera. I quite like this. It's an auto setting as well, so I'm going to assume, rightly or wrongly, I don't know, that whether it was if it was in cloudy setting, we might have maybe a slightly better looking image. You know, when it just went a slightly shade darker there. I've got a funny feeling if it was in cloudy, that wouldn't be happening so much. But anyway, let's get back to the flight. So you can see the terrain on this ground. It's pretty level, but it does go up and down, and this is going to count for us because where I started off, the terrain is at one height, and as I start going further down, it changes height. So it's almost, well, you'll see as we start getting closer. I'm just looking now to see if when we go through these where these buildings are, how far the RSSI drops down. Still using the 2.4 gigs FRSKY transmitter, and the 8XR, X8R. I'll put it up. I can't remember which way around it goes. 2.4 gigs receiver on the airplane. Lovely bit of countryside, look at it, absolutely lovely, so peaceful. And it's so peaceful where I get to take off and land at as well. So yeah, a little bit of a breeze blowing around. A couple of days ago when I tried doing this flight, I was flying this way and it was all, I think it was around about sort of 45, 50 kilometers an hour headwind I was going into, and I was doing 15 kilometers an hour at 63% throttle. And then when I turn around, I'm doing like 85 on the way back with reduced throttle, with down to like 50% throttle. But it's nice to know that this little aeroplane can put up with a few gusts. It weighs in. I weighed it. It weighs in at just under 1.6 kilos, with its battery and everything on it, ready to fly. Yeah, and it doesn't feel bad flying at that either. It's not as though it feels particularly heavy or uncontrollable. It's not at all. If anything, it might just feel a little bit more sure-footed, if you understand the expression, in being a bit heavier. So if you look at the top left now, that's Hatton. Okay, so we're almost there. We're almost there. That sort of housing estate in the big image you can see, that's Hatton Village. And if you look at the terrain, it's sort of like lower there to where we are. And I don't know if you notice on my altitude, I'm going down in altitude, or at least the ground's getting higher, but I'm not. And that's not going to do me very much favours. See the RSSI, look, having a little bit of a tweak around. But it's not going to do me any favours, because now I'm concentrating more on what I can see around me, because you can see the image is a little bit snowy, and really I should have changed now into the front cam, but I've still left it on the wing cam. And I don't know whether that's just because I'm too busy looking at what's going on with the road, trying to work out, is this where I need to be. But look at the trees now. All of these will soak up signal, and if you look at the RSSI, it keeps flashing away, or it was just before I mentioned it. Here we go, flashing again, and it will start dropping down. Now we're at 5.1 kilometers, 5.2 kilometers now, and the RSSI is dropping off. It's dropping off. But I think this is because look, we are 97, 98 meters. So we're 25 meters below where we need to be, and 25 meters is quite a bit of 75 plus feet. It's and so there I've just called it return to home. 5.5 meters. So 5.5 kilometers. But now you can see the terrain I've just gone over. You can sort of get a bit of a judgment for what's soaking up the signal. So I think if I'd have gone that little bit higher and kept maybe slightly to the left on the approach, I would have got there. But I was a kilometre away. And the nice thing about this flight is I think I can do better. I think I can do better with the same setup, the same flight path, just keeping on the way there slightly to the left, or if it was on the way back now, I'll be slightly to the right, and just see what happens down there, but ensuring that I keep my altitude, because look, I'm at 94 meters now when I could be at 122. So lessons to be learned, but it's nice to see that I can get out here. It's nice to see that the FRSKY 2.4 gig transmit receive system did do the job just as well as what I thought it would. I'm quite confident actually it'll get me to Hatton Locks. I'm quite confident that I will get that extra kilometre with this setup the next time round, which will be, well, as soon as the weather clears, but get past the weekends, because I don't like to go where I fly at the weekends because more people use the area. If I can get an hour out, during the week, or a couple of hours out during the week when there's hardly anyone around, that's when I prefer to fly. Just because it's just quieter. It's quieter and I like it like that. So where are we at now? Let's have a look. So we're 3.3 kilometres out. Still in return to home mode. I don't know if you can see. Well, I can see where we're going back to, but that's because I'm used to looking at this area now from this sort of height. so we've got no problems going back in its return to home mode anyway. So my only regret on this, I think, on this particular flight is that I didn't just keep pushing it a bit, and I didn't keep that altitude in mind. Yeah, damn. But I know that we've got plenty of power to do it with the battery. I know that I do have the facilities set up for fail-safing. I've got the return to home there. If I hadn't flicked that switch, it would have fail-safed anyway and returned to home for itself. Next time round, I'll avoid these going directly over the tops of these buildings. I don't think that I'm any danger to them down there at all. Not at all. But I will navigate a little bit more, let's say, ground user friendly. I don't know what the word for it is, but I will navigate around. On the way here, I could have taken it a little bit wider on the right hand side around the first farm, and then I can go a little bit more to the left hand side around the second farm, which will keep me in the middle of the two farms on the way there, which will keep me in a nice line for what we actually want. So a nice pleasant flight. A nice pleasant flight. A little bit gusty, a little bit of wind kicking about, but that's fine. This plane doesn't seem to be too bothered with light wind, which is really, really nice. And yeah, it's nice just to be able to leave the plane, isn't it? Just be able to leave it. Just be able to leave it and that return to home mode. Works brilliant. So we just switched out return to home now because I'm going to bring it in manually. Little flip through the cameras. So yeah, that tree on the right hand side there in the corner, that's going to be one of our problem areas. I did joke with my friend and say I was going to go out last night with a bow saw and just nip off, you know, that protruding area from the top of the bush line. But of course I shan't do that. I shan't do that. Not yet anyway. Nah, I'm joking. I wouldn't do a thing like that. I wouldn't want to damage the tree. But it must, you know, take a bit of a warning, because if you look down there, you see it, you see the way it's sticking up? If that was just like, just chopped down, that would give me a brilliant flight path all the way down there. It's the only offending, you know, piece of foliage I can see. But maybe it'd be a bit mean of me just to go and chop it down. Not the whole thing anyway, just that top bit that sticks above the bush line. So I'm going to try and drop off some speed here. The problem that I got is going that way, I'm heading into the wind, but as soon as I start heading back, not that way, the opposite way to that, and what would that be? That'd be sort of northeast. Yeah, as soon as I start coming back this way, of course, the speed picks up because now the wind's blowing me back that way. So we go up to 65, 65k. But we'll get down. I think after this next one, we put the flaps down. Just as we start coming in here. I think I've got to go around one more time actually. So I'm still trying to drop off some of the speed. So here we come. It's the final approach. And flaps down. Okay, so pitching down there is just because the count of the flaps going down. Well, that should slow me down a bit. There we go. There's something I noticed here as well, is you see now my kilometres an hour is frozen and my satellites are flashing. It doesn't stay like that, it does change, but there's a little bit of a weird thing going on here. So still at 39 kilometres, satellite's still flashing. And there we go, to 0. It's like the board's caught up with itself or something. Anyway, I don't know if you can see it in the HD camera, that's me just running up. It's a nice 100 metres run. And yeah, so uneventful really flight. Learnt a little bit through that on what not to do the next time around, but I'm pretty sure I can clinch the 6.5 kilometres with this, and we'll soon find out on the next one. Thanks for watching guys, and I'll speak to you next time. Bye bye.